There was this band when I was 18 years old, and my friend Kevin Smith, who lived with his ex-girlfriend's mom. I don't remember her name. But there was this band that was, I'm pretty sure, was the ex-girlfriend's father-in-law's band. They were called Crazy Lightning. This band, Crazy Lightning, this band from Glen Ellen, Illinois. I never forgot this band. They were like construction worker guys. The stepdad of his ex-girlfriend, who I don't remember her name. They were called Crazy Lightning. They were like the best band I've ever seen in my life, and I think Kevin would vouch for this, or at least he would probably. I don't know. Kevin's probably seen a lot more bands than me. But Crazy Lightning, they were bikers basically. They were like suburban construction worker biker guys, and they like drank a lot, and they practiced in the basement of where Kevin lived, and we would like watch them, and they were tough dudes. They were like heavy dudes. I remember they sounded like AC/DC. They may have just done AC/DC covers, but I was not knowledgeable of AC/DC at the time like I am now. So it could have been that like all the songs they did were covers, but I just assumed they were originals. They were tough looking biker guys who played really well. They rocked. And I remember we saw them, Kevin and they played in the basement one time for all their friends basically, who were all hard living biker people. And I remember they smoked in the basement. They're just filled with smoke, like cigarette smoke and whatever other smoke. But they were the fucking best band I've ever seen in my life. And I hope Kevin sees this video, because he's like, I don't know if he follows me, but I'll send it to him. Kevin, I need to know more information about Crazy Lightning. I've been obsessed with them for forever. At least my memory of them. You ever get obsessed with memory? Like your memory is probably much more fleshed out and beautiful than the reality. Anyway, Crazy Lightning. I wanted to talk about Crazy Lightning. I wrote a song called Crazy Lightning that was inspired by the band Crazy Lightning, even though it doesn't sound like it was an acoustic type song. It was on one of my albums, but it was like all electronic or whatever. But then I did an acoustic version of the song. And I'm just obsessed with Crazy Lightning so much that I just think about them so often. And I was thinking about them just now. They were unbelievable. Kevin and I hope Kevin watches this video. I hope he comments on this, because we were there because I used to hang out with Kevin like every day, because it was a way, like, I don't know, like wherever he lived, like his ex-girlfriend's mom didn't care about what we did. She like just was permissible. So we would, get high, smoke pot there all the time and drink, whatever. But we would see Crazy Lightning. I think I saw Crazy Lightning a couple times, at least in rehearsal. And then I saw like the show they played for their biker friends and probably their construction worker friends. And Crazy Lightning is this band. You can't look them up. They have no internet impressions at all. They're not on the internet. This is a mythical band called Crazy Lightning that I have built up in my mind to be the greatest band of all time. I now know what they sounded like. Do you know the band Rose Tattoo from Australia? They were like that. They were tough. They were bikers. They would beat your ass. I was not afraid of them. I think they were fairly nice to us, because we would just sit there and watch them all the time. And they would just play this AC/DC music, this hard rock that was full on devil music. And it was unbelievable. So I built this band up in my mind, Crazy Lightning, to be the greatest band of all time. And that's the thing about the internet that is really horrible. The stuff that is not on the internet, bands that are not on the internet, are all mythical. They're all like completely, like in my mind, Crazy Lightning's the greatest band of all time. I remember that they played this one show. I keep bringing this up, but they played this concert in the basement. The basement, like the basement was like a low ceiling. So like even me, it was like the ceiling was like here, and it was filled with It was filled with like smoke, weed smoke, and they were like wearing vests. They were wearing leather vests with like their patches on it. And the singer like had a beard. And this was like in 1990 or 91 when people didn't have beards, you know. At least the only people that wore beards and had tattoos were bikers. Do you know what I mean? So I have built up this mythical thing in my mind, which is why the internet is not the greatest thing in the world. Because the internet, everything has been picked over and gone over on the internet. So there is no mythical aspect to anything that is not technically on the internet. So this band Crazy Lightning, it is not on the internet as far as I know. I've never seen them on the internet. And I don't know why it sounds like that. It's probably because like I have bad, it's probably because I'm AI. And this proves my whole point, is that nothing that you see on the internet is necessarily real. And everybody's now fooled by AI. Like, is this AI? Is this fake? Is this real? Right now, you can kind of tell, but in about a year, you're not going to be able to tell. So I'm AI. I've been totally constructed by AI engineers in Palo Alto, California. And that's why I'm wearing the sunglasses, because you don't know if I'm real. I don't know what that means. But no, you don't know, because you're too young to understand this. And I'm trying to give you some insight as somebody who's older and who's totally AI now. I've been totally given over to AI, and I've now been constructed by Palo Alto engineers. Anyway, let me talk about what I was going to talk about. Crazy Lightning is the greatest band I've ever seen in my life. Kevin Smith can vouch for it. I'm sure Kevin will agree. I know Kevin was like been on tours and seen tons of bands. I think he was like the tour manager for a bunch of bands. But come on, Kevin, was Crazy Lightning not the greatest band you've ever seen? They were bikers. They were construction workers. They all rode bikes. They had patches on their vests that were like, I don't know what bike gang they were in. I don't want to misrepresent them. But they played this AC/DC Rose Tattoo type music, and it was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I just wanted to make this video to memorialize Crazy Lightning, because they're not on the internet. I've never seen any mention of them on the internet. I've looked for their tape. I've looked for their demo. It doesn't exist. I've looked for live footage of them in some bar somewhere, or in a basement somewhere, where they're getting high and they're drinking Schlitz malt liquor, and they're wasted, and they're playing the greatest music that's ever been made by any band. That's my opinion. I wrote a song called Crazy Lightning back like 10 years ago. That's on one of my albums. I don't remember which one. I did an acoustic version of it. It's called Crazy Lightning. I think that you should look into this band, although they don't exist anywhere on the internet. So therefore they don't exist, right? Isn't that how this works? I'm over it. I'm not really over it. I'm actually in a good mood. But I was reminiscing about Crazy Lightning. I keep repeating myself. So this band, they were a 4-piece. I think they were a 4-piece. They had like a smaller like dude, like a short, I think he was a Hispanic gentleman with a beard, played guitar. He was a hotshot guitar player, took all the leads. The singer was Kevin Smith's ex-girlfriend's stepdad, okay? And Kevin lived with his ex-girlfriend's mom, and she let us do whatever the fuck we wanted to do. We were 17 years old, and we could drink and we could smoke weed all day and act stupid and call people. We prank call people all day. So if Kevin Smith's out there in the internet world, please comment on Crazy Lightning. Tell me I'm not crazy. Lightning. Tell me that I understand, that I knew exactly what this band was about. It was the greatest band ever. To me. And I'm glad they don't exist on the internet, so I can romanticize it in my mind. Because nothing on the internet's romanticized. Everything is now documented. Doesn't matter. Oh, I know everything about this band. I know everything about them. They are now a commodity to me. But the things that are great are the things that are not on the internet, because they're mystical. They're mystical. They're like a mist or something. They're like something that I only thought maybe in my own mind that I imagined. And maybe we did flip timelines. Maybe the Mandela effect's a real thing. Maybe everything that I knew prior to 2001 is fake and stupid and doesn't exist. And everything else is constructed, even you and I. We are all just a figment of some alien civilization's imagination. We're probably a game show for these people. They're watching us all right now and they're laughing. We're all like high entertainment to some interdimensional being that Anna Paulina Luna wants us to believe is real. Like, oh no, interdimensional being. The government now tells us the interdimensional beings are real. Completely ridiculous. Don't believe anything the government says. Don't believe anything you see on the internet. It's all fake, except for crazy lightning.